I've been laughing at the way
I've been looking at things come lately. And there you have it. Just another day. I've been looking at the way things lately. It's Friday, you know. I just thought I'd have a Friday. A beer, footy's over, no grand finals, nothing happening. Can't even get to that, you know. So Real Rushcan has just released an interview he did with David Limbrick of the Liberal Democrats down in Victoria. And you might think it's funny, but it's probably one of the most insidious interviews that he's done. David Limbrick explains that Daniel Andrews has passed a legislation that, well, it will go through, that as of the end of next week, all politicians in Victoria must be fully vaccinated, or at least have had one injection. Now, you would think what's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's okay, you know. And I'm not here to make that debate with you. What I'm here to tell you is that Daniel Andrews has done and is doing some pretty underhanded things. And one of those things he's doing is that his emergency powers cannot be extended. After 21 months, it cannot be extended. That's it. It's all over, finished, da-da-da-da. And people are saying this. They're going, right, it's all over. End of story. David Limbrick says that he's heard rumours that there's certain legislation that's being drafted in secret in Victoria by the Andrews government. And this legislation will be more stringent and more tyrannical than anything it's ever seen. So when people say, you know, Freedom Day, December 1st, we've got emergency powers ending after a certain time, there's nothing they can do, they can't mandate after that. Once they can't mandate, that's why they rushed the jabs and pushed, because the jabs are only released under emergency use authorisation, and once that emergency ends, they can't legally inject you. No doctor, no chemist. You know, even that itself should make you think what's going on. It should make you think, why? If they're so safe and effective, why can't they inject you? Because they're emergency use only. They've never been approved. They've lied to you. They're not been approved. They've lied to you. The TGA's lied. They have to be approved, as I said in today's post, by the FDA in America. And for them to be approved, they have to pass certain trials, then they have to receive a full list, and I mean a complete full list of the ingredients, nothing hidden. They have to do that, and the FDA has not received it. The list of ingredients they have, as I saw today, has 2 ingredients in there which are fully redacted, meaning there's no information to it. They're under patent and they're fully redacted. There's no information on those 2 ingredients whatsoever. So if the FDA has that included in the ingredients list, they can't be passed because they don't know what it is. So therefore they cannot receive approval or license. They can't. Forget what Scott Morrison might say, or Brad Hazard or Hunt or anybody here says. They have to be approved in America first. That's where they're created. That's where they're made. That's where they've been, that's where they are. They've got to be approved there. We can't approve their non-approved medicines. We can't. And I always thought about this, and a lot of people are agreeing that December the 1st is like a rumble on the hills. I'm in a sense, I'm almost dreading December the 1st roll around. Because it's too easy. It's way too easy. Something's going on. And David Limbrick said this morning that if this legislation that he's heard is being formulated, could be catastrophic for Australia. Now, here's the interesting part about it. Dan Andrews counted the numbers. He knows what he needs to get this through, how many can vote. As David Limbrick said, if you don't receive your injection by next week, you're not allowed on parliamentary grounds. You're not allowed in Parliament. You can't go to your office. You can't do anything. But here's the key thing. Oh, you lose your security pass, everything. That's what that mandate says. If you're not injected, you're not allowed onto the parliamentary grounds. Now, think about it. Think about it. Dan Andrews also knows that if you're not allowed on parliamentary grounds, under parliamentary rules, you cannot vote on legislation. You can't vote in absence. You can't vote by Zoom meeting. You must physically be present to vote. So if these people are abstaining from being injected because of whatever reasons they have, and I'm not interested in that, they don't want to be injected, they're automatically excluded from the voting process, and Dan Andrews has done the count. He knows exactly what the numbers are that he needs. The Liberal Party in Victoria are going to go along with this legislation. They are going to go along with it. One bird, two wings, same bird. I've told you this over and over and over and over and over. There's no difference. They are all one on this. The premiers are as one, right? The parties are as one. You haven't heard pip from the Greens. They're all involved in this. They're all working towards this agenda. So people like David Limbrick who would oppose this legislation will be forced out of Parliament. They won't be able to go in there and vote. And Dan Andrews knows it. And that legislation, when it comes out, as Limbrick says, this could be devastating for Australia. Certainly for Victoria. All I want to do, just have a beer. Friday afternoon. Man, this is catastrophic. It really, really is. December 1st, Freedom Day, hardly. December 1st, in my words, will mark the beginning of the end. That's what it will mark. I even wondered about this. We've heard stories that there will be another pandemic. Marburg, a few have been touted, that there will be another pandemic, just as there's been in Israel, in the UK, USA, all countries where they started the jabbing a long time ago before us. And their jab rates are way higher and have been way higher than ours for a long time. And now they're suffering enormous amounts of hospitalisation and deaths, which they're trying desperately to cover up. And even the mainstream media is complicit in trying to dissuade people and negate people and say that it's just misinformation and false information. But the facts are there. They're coming out that these people, the majority of these people, up to 80% of these people are fully vaccinated. They're fully vaccinated. They're in hospital. They're dying. They're sick. If that's happening there, don't think, well, that's overseas, because we get the same shit here. We haven't got different injections. They're the same. We'll follow the same pattern that they're following. Understand that. It's the same pattern. Whatever happens there, it's going to happen here. You know it. That's it. You can't avoid that. You think you're safe. Oh my God, if we just get everybody 80% vaxxed and we can return to normal. There is no more normal. There's no more normal. It's gone forever, no matter what you may think. Normal, what you knew before 3 years ago, it's out the window. It will never be the same again, not till the very, very end. Will not be the same. You have no idea what's coming. You have no idea what's about to happen, what's laying on your doorstep. And we have to be strong. We have to support each other. We don't have a choice in that, because to win, we have to be as one, unified. No race, no colour, no religion, no bias. We are one. We have to be one, and we have to share and unite and be together. Thank you for the groups I've joined. Fantastic. The Kiwis United, what a brilliant group. You know, I'm so blessed for the Australian COVID Medical Network, with Australian doctors fighting like fury to get this information out to people. I've joined about 100 to their group this week. Fantastic, to their email list. So understand, we're all fighting to win this. Whatever breath I've got left in my stupid old body, the last breath will go down to fighting this. And I don't really care. As I've said to you over and over and over, I don't really care what happens to me in the end. We've got to keep fighting this, because to do that, that's the only way we're ever going to win.